on, guys? I guess Zoom got the new feature now. They telling you that you're recording so everybody knows. All right, cool. So today I just wanted to talk about some simple stuff with everybody here that is thinking about or in a business already or doing some type of you're in some type of sales or you're in some type of business, or you would label yourself as an entrepreneur. So today it's about just getting started. Like you got to start. You got to start somewhere. And I talk to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that talk to me, and when I say about getting started somewhere, I mean, like, you might have already started your journey, your business. You might have already started what you're trying to do, or you might already be started. You might already be going. But when I say you just got to get started, is because I think that there's too much thinking going on when you're trying to build something, and there's too much of this mindset that I need to understand everything and I need to know everything before I get started. You only need to know enough to know the fact that this is something that you're passionate about. This is something that you want to be involved in. This is the industry that you want to be in, or this is a path that you want to take. And then you have to do your own research and do your own due diligence to know that everything that you're getting involved in is legitimate and on the up and up, right? Like, other than that, knowing everything before you start is like, it's completely foolish, in my opinion, to go out there and have to, I mean, by the time you would actually go and do anything, it would be years. It takes people years to master something, to learn something, to know an industry. So if it takes you 10,000 hours to master an industry, imagine when would it be that you would actually start your business? Like, when would you ever be able to start making any money? When would you ever have any experience? And then the craziest thing is that when you actually do start, then you're going to start realizing that all the things that you are thinking about, all the things that you are planning, all the things that you had your ideas on how it would go, bang, first day, first week, first month, it goes completely the opposite direction. Like, there really is no way of you actually knowing how things are going to pan out. If we knew how things were going to pan out and we could predict the future like that, I mean, literally, who would ever need to do any business? You could just go bet on the next World Series winner or the next Super Bowl winner, or you could probably just pick the lottery numbers, right? The reality is that we're in a business world that's ever changing, that's ever moving. I mean, they're now talking about how Miami might be the new tech hub, might be the new financial epicenter, taking it from New York and taking it from the West Coast, and it's like, how would Miami be the tech hub, the new Silicon Valley, right? How would Miami be the new Wall Street? Like, that would be baffling, right? But you never know what may or may not happen. So my point here is that whatever it is that you're trying to do, you just got to start. I always tell people there's too many people that are waiting for all the lights to turn green before they leave their driveway. And that analogy is that you got to leave your driveway. It's never going to be that all the lights are going to be green. It's never going to be that everything is going to be in your favor. It's never going to be that every single part of your life is set up properly. Your money set up properly. Your relationship is set up properly. Your timing set up properly. You're in the right place of your job or whatever it may be. There's always going to be something that is not in your favor, that's not favorable right now for you to do it. And the only thing that is happening from overthinking, from over planning, all these things, is that you're wasting valuable time and you're allowing the fear of the unknown actually take over your opportunity of growing, actually take over your opportunity of doing. The most important thing about starting something, doing something, building something about entrepreneurship is actually doing. Yes, you got to think. Yes, you have to plan. Yes, you have to organize. You have to do all of those things. But there's too many people that are using the excuse of I don't know, or I'm not ready, or when I'm ready, I'm gonna jump into it, or I'm gonna start this thing soon. I'm going to write my book soon. I'm going to start investing in real estate soon. I'm going to start learning how to sell soon. I'm going to do this soon. It's always like I feel like there's so many people that want to do something and are unhappy with where they're at, and yet not willing to take the leap, not willing to take the step forward to go and do something. And when I say leap, it's not even a leap. It's not even a leap. It's not like you have to cut all your ties and everything that you do to go and start moving in the positive direction. You just have to start. You got to start somewhere, whatever the start is. Start by doing the research. Start by finding the right direction that you want to go and start learning about that. It's okay if you're not the best in the business and what you do after a week, a month, a year, or whatever it may be. The people who are really good at what they're doing is because they've been doing it for a long time. They've stuck to it for a long time, and that's why they've learned the ins and outs. They learn what to do, but they've also learned what not to do. And I think that's the major difference, is because people just started going. If you look at successful people, they're willing to pull the trigger. They're willing to try new things. You don't hear about all the things that fail. You don't hear about all the things that didn't work out, but they're willing to try it. And as you're willing to try it, and if you are in the mindset where it's like, hey, if things don't work out, I'm going to pivot, I'm going to change, I'm going to adjust. You're solution oriented. You're going to be able to make it work. It might not work exactly the way that you want it to work or you envisioned it to work. But if it's already working, it's already going, then you just now have to figure out, how do I make this thing work? And that's got to be the attitude of starting, and there's just way too many of us that are not starting, not going. And that's ultimately a major time killer. The one thing that you can never get back is your time. That's the one commodity that you cannot get back. You can make the money. We hear it all the time. You can make the money. You can figure out all these things, but the time that you need to learn something, the time that you need to master something, the time that you need to get good at what you do is something that is only going to happen if you start doing it, right? Now, I know there's a bunch of people that you've already started going. You're already going. You're already doing it. You're like, hey, I did start. Okay, good. And the next problem is that people that start, they stop way too early because there's a couple setbacks. There's a couple things that don't work out, didn't work out the way that you wanted to. And so now it's like, oh, well, this is hard or this is challenging. Anything that you do that's new is more than likely going to be challenging because it's new to you, right? You're not a master. You're not an expert at it yet. But again, the only way that you get good at it is that you continue to stick at it and you continue to learn and you continue to, it's very intentional. I'm going to get good at this thing. I'm going to learn this industry and I'm going to learn from the best in the business, and I'm going to invest in learning. I'm going to invest in myself so that I can get better at this thing. And then over time, that's how it happens, right? People talk about grinding in silence, and you let your success make the noise, like all that stuff. Yeah, all that is just you're going out there, you're committing your time and your effort to go and make the mistakes and then learn from the mistakes. But there's too many people that make mistakes and then bitch about mistakes. Right? Mistakes are there as lessons, as nuggets, not as a bitching point. And all of that is just an attitude, you know? Like if you have the attitude where you're not nimble and you're not flexible, when you run into an issue, a wall, a problem, and you start complaining, you start bitching, that's why the journey of success, the journey of an entrepreneur, it ends for you. It's because we're too rigid in where we're at and what we're doing. So you got to make sure that you commit some time. And I think most people start out and the timeline is way too short. It's like, oh, well, I want to create this much success in, let's say, a year, or let's say 6 months, or however long, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know. But the reality is that you need to make sure that you have enough time actually working in your business. It's not about time that has passed. So too many of us are counting time that passes when really you should be counting time that you put into the work. Just because you've been doing your business, or just because you've been selling insurance, or you've been selling real estate for 5 years, it doesn't actually mean that you've been selling for 5 years. It just means that you were licensed for 5 years, right? There's a difference between having a license for 5 years and actually selling for 5 years. How many hours of those days or of each day are you actually engaged in talking to a client? How much of that day are you actually engaged in doing a presentation? Are you engaged in a closing? Right? Like how, or is it throughout the day you're sleeping, you're bullshitting around, you're watching Netflix, you're eating, you're wasting time, you're thinking about something. And I think so many people, they make the mistake like, oh, I've been doing this for so long. I've been at this for so long. I've been, trying to build my social media presence for so long. I've been building my Amazon for so long, or my whatever for so long, my restaurant. And you're not actually spending time doing or building the thing that you're talking about. We're usually spending time talking about it. We're usually spending time thinking about it. We're usually spending time doing other things that is unrelated to any profit-making situation, any money-making situation, any personal development situation that's going to allow you to better what you do. Like it, most people are like that. But we'll turn around and say, I've been at this for so long. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm 5 years in the game, man. But you have to be real with yourself and ask yourself, are you really 5 years in the game? Are you really more like 77 hours? Are you really more like 633 hours? Like, what's the deal? If they say 10,000 hours to master an industry, it's not 10,000 hours you were in the industry. It's 10,000 hours of actual working, 10,000 hours of actually interacting with a client, either getting a yes or getting a no. Like trying to make a deal, and then that deal either working, closing, or falling apart, right? Like that's actually working something. But everything else, it won't count. So you got to start. You got to start somewhere. Then you got to stay committed to it. You got to put your time, you got to put your effort. And when the bad days roll through and they're 100%, they're going to come through, then it's about learning from those times and being consistent. You got to be consistent in what you're doing. This is what discourages a lot of people, because we're inconsistent. And so even though you put in, you're like, I am putting in time, I have put in time, but do you put in time every single day or every single week? Or is it like you sporadically put in time when you're feeling good about what you want to do, or you get the moment of inspiration, or you hear or see something, then it's like, okay, now I'm going to put in the time. So that inconsistency is now going to dilute all of the earlier time commitments that you had. And so there's a combination of this going on all around the world. Like there's the getting started part, everybody wants to start, everybody wants to do something, but they're not really willing to do it. They're overthinking it. They're over analyzing it, getting analysis paralysis. And then the ones who do start, they don't really ever commit. They just kind of start or kind of get involved, everybody's got 100 titles. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a medical biller. And then, oh yeah, also I have my certification for this. I'm also a certified CPA. And I'm also licensed to do this and draw and paint. And I got, I sell t-shirts on the side. And it's like, there's too many things that we're trying to do. We start things, we're not sticking to them. We're not putting enough time. We're not putting in enough effort, but we're counting every single day, week, month, and year that passes, and then it's inconsistent. So it's like all these things will wash the other thing. But the simple thing is just doing it, starting, committing to it, putting the time and effort, even when the going gets rough and tough, pivoting, making sure that you're learning from your mistakes, staying consistent at it. That person, you being like that, you're going to move so much faster than the person that is talking big, talking like they know. They've been, I've been here for 6 years. I've been like, none of that stuff matters. None of it matters, because at the end of the day, what's the result? Like, what's the result? Where are you at? What do you fucking got? Is your business actually a business? Right? That's the main thing. And I wanted to just talk about this because there's so many people that have been talking to me about wanting to do something. And I'm just like, so do it. Like, just do it. Like, that's how things start, is by doing it, is by going, and for all the ones that have already done it and have already gone, then are you in the secondary phase of where you're not willing to now take it to the next level, and you're doing your business, or you've created a business and you have your business rolling, but you're not willing to, and you're still afraid to take it to the next level, to jump into the leadership, to hire more people, to expand the business, to invest more money, to, you know what I mean? Like, there's always levels of this. So you can look at the person and say, yeah, that's not me. I started. I'm doing good now. I'm making money now, right? I'm 6 figures now. Okay, cool. But then how do we go from the 6 figures to the 7? Right? Are we still stuck there? And this is the cycle that you got to look at. Where do you fall in all of these places? And don't be scared to take the jump. Don't be scared to go to the next thing that you need to do. When the going gets tough and the going gets rough, then stick to your guns and the things that you know. Keep learning it and just stay committed to it. Stay consistent at it. And that's how you get there, okay? So that's the message for today. If you haven't started, start. Got to start somewhere. It doesn't matter. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. And then the ones who have already gone and you're already down in the path and all this stuff makes sense to you, really assess where you're at. Have you now gotten stuck with just having a small business and you are not willing to scale, or you're scared to scale? You're scared to develop more people, develop more leadership. You're scared that you're not ready for that next level. You're not ready for the next position. You're not ready to make more money. You're not ready to hire more people. You're not ready to invest. You don't have the time to go more. Everybody's going to fall into one of these situations. And if you're not, then kudos to you, man, or kudos to you, girl, because that probably means that you're killing it. All right. Okay, guys, let's get out there. Let's crush the day. Hope this message finds you guys well. We got the YouTube channel going now, The Morning Kickoff. Okay, so go subscribe, share that with people. We got the first video coming up. We got a lot of videos that's going to go on there, and it's going to get better and better. The first couple ones might not be that great, but look, we're just going to throw it. You got to start somewhere, right? There you go. You got to start somewhere. We're just going to throw it up, and then, just subscribe, support it, and I'll see you guys later. I hope this message helped you guys out. All right, let's go get it. Come on, let's crush the day. I'll see you guys later. Bye.